Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at gem blenders. We're going to take our 4 different heroes and we're going to square off against each other in this 2-player, fast-paced card duel game. Now, let's go ahead and tell people I'm going to give you a general overview of the game. I'm not really going to teach you the rules for the game, but I'm going to get a general idea how to play the game. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts about the game. All right, so this is gem blenders. In gem blenders, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing over multiple different rounds to be the first to have 2 victories. Throughout the game, what you're going to be doing is trying to reduce the player's health down to 0. Each player will start with 20 health points, and you can use whatever you like to track that, whether it be a digital app or a giant die like this, to track how much health a person has. You're going to be using your heroes to deal damage to the opponent to try to reduce their health down to 0 points. You will have a deck of 50 cards and 4 heroes. Your 50 cards have to contain gems, blends, and action cards. You can have more than 3 of the same type of blends or action cards in a deck. So for deck building, that's exactly what you would do. 50 card deck, no more than 3 of identical types of either gems or blends. Now we're primarily looking at this starter set, so I just wanted to say right off the bat that this starter deck comes with 2 decks that we got here. We got Rage and Storm, so these are preset decks, and it also comes with a huge number of cards to build your own deck, and I did. So I built my own deck in here and really enjoy playing this one. It's pretty mean. But you have tons of cards that come with this starter set to build your own decks or play with the starter decks, which seem to be pretty well balanced. Now, you'll have your 4 heroes, and you're going to secretly place these out in a configuration equal to this. So these are going to be, these is my front line, and this is going to be my rear guard right here. Now this guy right here can't attack and can't be attacked, and these guys up here can be attacked and can defend. So this guy right here can use his special abilities, but can't attack or be attacked. So just keep that in mind. So these guys will flip over and we can start the game. Now each player is going to draw 6 cards, and if you do not like the 6 cards you drew, like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, I can throw those 6 cards back, reshuffle my deck up, which I'm cringing because these aren't sleeved right now, but you know, for the sake of a review. All right, I will draw 6 new cards. Take a look at my hand. Oh yeah, that's so much better. And we can determine who the first player is. You could do whatever means you want to determine who the first player is. Roll a die, whatever. Once you decide the first player, that player has some things that they can't do on their first turn. So let's start off by going over what a turn is, and then I'm going to show you what everything means in this game. So what your turns are going to be consistent of is you're going to draw a card. Then you can activate as many unique hero abilities as you want. You can play as many action cards from your hand as you want. However, and you can play as many blends as you want from your hand. You can deblend any number of cards that you like, and we'll show you all that in a second. But you can only place out 1 gem per round, unless a card breaks that rule. And I would pick one of my characters and I would place a gem under it. Now we're getting into what else can you do in your turn. You can play these different action cards. Like this one has a star on it, and you can only have up to 6 stars in the deck, so that's another important thing for deck building. But this one's a reaction card. It blocks an attack, really powerful, really like this one. This one here, I could search my deck for a gem if I wanted to, which I probably do and will. This one here, I can move any of the gems on your field to other heroes however I like. This is another gem I can place in a future turn, and this is a gem blend. But before we go over gem blends, let's go over your hero. Okay, so there's a couple different things that are important on hero. You're gonna have, the hero's levels up here. The H up here means it's a hero. Here it has an attack and it has a defense. So, and then it has a special ability that you could do. And they have, some of them have rules like on your first turn or other things. But some of them have little gems by them. And what this little gem means here is that you have to have at least one gem on this person before you can use this ability. And this one here, just because I'm having a problem with focus here, is formation on your turn, on your first turn. So I would want to probably equip this guy first. You may arrange your frontline heroes however you like. So I could change them up based on what my opponent put in there. That's heroes. So again, level, attack, defense, and sometimes special ability. I can stack gems on these heroes. I could do as many as I want. When I put a gem on there, I just make sure that I have this little symbol up so you know what gem's on it. And I can attack on my turn once per turn. We'll go over attack in a minute because none of my guys have an attack. Next, we're going to go over blends. So blends have a number of gems on the top. This is also the level of the blend. Important thing to know about blends is however many gems on the top, that's the level, is going to determine where you can place it on which hero. The hero has to have that level number or higher to be able to take that blend. So I couldn't put this River Angel on Gloria. They also have to have these gems on that hero. So let's say I have the correct gems on this hero here, which I'll have to find the third one. I need the river gem. Aquamarium. Anyway, so I put that gem on there, and now I can, oops, shoveled my hand in. I can now equip this blend. So I can equip as many blends as I want, but there can only be one blend on a hero at a time. So if I want to equip a different blend, I have to unblend this hero, and the blend will go to the discard. When you put a blend on a hero, it's going to basically cover over its attack, defense, and its abilities. The hero will have new attack and defense, so this one here is going to be a 2 attack, 2 defense, and have a new ability that it can use. In this case, it has circulate. Once during your turn, you may switch the position of your left position hero with your right position hero, so I can move them across. All right, so now we know we can do on a turn. We can play actions, we can play blends, we can play 1 gem per turn. Now attacking. So when we attack, we're going to look at what's immediately adjacent. So I can attack with none or all of my front line. Whichever ones I attack with, go with the corresponding ones. So let's say I could attack with all 3 of these, but these are 0 and 0. So I'm not going to want to do that. So I'm just going to attack with the middle one, which has an attack of 2 and defense of 2. I take a look at the one across from here, which is this guy right here, and it has no defense. So if the other player doesn't play a response card, which is going to be one of the action cards, I will deal 2 damage directly to that player, and they will go down to 18 points. Now, one big caveat is, remember how I said the first player doesn't get to do certain things? Well, the first player doesn't get to draw, and they also are not allowed to attack on their first turn. So that gives both players a chance to build up their defenses before, attacking begins, or, do some housekeeping before an attack starts. So play will continue until someone gets down to 0 points. Then you're going to reset and you're going to do another game. Once a player has had 2 victories, they have won the game. And that is gem blenders. A couple notes are these action cards are incredibly powerful. So they are really important how you gear them in your deck. Also, most of these decks here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your big gem blends that you want to use, and you're going to build your deck off of that. So you're going to take your big level 4 gem blends, and you're going to probably not go outside of the gems that are on that 4 Like here's even a 5 gem blend. So you could have a 5 gem blend in there. So you could take that and you're going to base your deck around like your big gem blends. So you'll take the lower 2 gem blends and the 3 gem blends and try to keep them within the gem constraints, or definitely try to keep them in the gem constraints of your big blends. And that's basically like super 101 on deck building. They have some really cool videos on that. I would say watch that over my comments. But in general, that's how you play the game. This is going to be the first edition on here. The starter decks seem to be pretty well balanced. They're a little bit slow playing, but most of the first edition CCGs are slow. Also, keep in mind these are starter decks, so when you build your own powerful decks and you have more cards available and you do all these cool things, the decks will be a lot faster. So keep that in mind. But in a very, very quick nutshell, that is how you play gem blenders. Let's go head back up to the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts on the game. So you get a lot in this starter deck. I really like that. You have 2 complete decks in here that have their own little deck boxes, and you can use these to just play endless games of gem blenders. They're pretty well balanced and they're a lot of fun. And there's a lot of strategy in learning the little nuances of each of these starter decks. It also comes with a huge significant number of cards in here that is more than enough to build 2 decks of your own. Now, will they be the greatest decks in the CCG? Nah, but they'll be really good. And you'll have a lot of fun. And I think that the 2 decks you build out of the cards that are in here are pretty, competitive with each other. So I like that. You could take some of the cards from the 2 starter decks and mix them in there and make a really cool deck. But as a game itself, Gem Blenders is a lot of fun. I really like how to move your formation around throughout the game. I didn't talk a lot about that in the overview, but there's a lot of cards that move the formation of your heroes and move your opponent's heroes formation. And this is very important because if you move your opponent's formation there, you might be able to get your attack in. Also, they have reactive cards where your opponent might have a card where they'll do a real quick switch when you attack and push up that high defense card to block that attack in. There's also that card that just simply cancels the attack, which is really, really nice. So there's a ton of strategy in this game, and when you play these cards really does matter. Whether you keep that opening hand matters or move on to it. You may have too many blends in your hand and not enough gems. Well, I should probably mulligan that. Or maybe I want to keep it because I have a lot of gems, but I don't have a lot of blends or anything action cards. So a lot of really cool decisions in this game. A lot of really cool sort of traps that you could put in place where you, like I said, you could switch the formation real quick, or you can move your gems around and power up someone real quick and switch out the blend where they weren't expecting and give them a good punch. So really fun game. I have really high hopes for the future of Gem Blenders, and I really looking forward to seeing what the second edition is and seeing what the booster packs that come out with and all the new cool stuff that they're looking forward to do in the future. So if you're looking for a CCG and you're looking for one that's pretty easy to learn and fun, I would highly recommend Gem Blenders. Thank you for watching.